Brad Stanton wants to know if you think that the Horsemen should not have come back at this point in time, or were you happy with the decision to bring them back and give it another run?
Well, you got to remember, we left on top, Jim Crockett Promotions. We were on top, drawing a lot of money with the Midnight Express, and we had been working on top for several years. It's not like you can just walk in the door and ignore that. You just can't.
You can't. Alex Pires Redondo wants to hear a funny story or two about Brian Pillman. Any funny stories about Brian?
Brian was he was one of those jokers in the locker room. I mean, he was intelligent, articulate, and he would blister guys, And I don't remember the exact things, but if a guy was overweight, but he was well liked, and you could pick at him about it, Pillman would jump on that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Everybody liked Brian. Brian was a lot of fun to be around, and because, he would walk around the locker room, and he was one of the jokers of the locker room, but when it came down to nut cutting time to have a match, he was dead serious. And he would go out, and he was a guy that could understand what match he was in, what the psychology needed to be, how to work the match. I mean, he was a pro.
A wrestling historian asked a question, Arn, that is so spot on to some conversation that we just had. It's almost like he was reading your mind. He said, do you think Barry Windham should have had a longer reign as NWA champion, or did it end at the right time with Ric Flair beating him here? Thanks in advance. That's the whole reason he left now, we just learned.
Yep. Yeah, and Ric Flair didn't need to be the champion. He's Ric Flair.
That's right.
Barry could have got a lot more, and he would have contributed a lot more to the company and the business in general if you'd have gave him a legitimate run and have him beat the top guys, because he's Barry Windham, for God's sakes.